Hey, this is Steve Jankowski. I'm an online marketing coach and mentor, and what I wanted to do today is create a short video for you about blogs and why you should be blogging if you're trying to market any product, service, or opportunity online. Some of the largest websites in the world, websites like Mashable and TechCrunch, are blogging platforms, and the reason why they choose blogging platforms is because Google absolutely loves blogs. Google feeds on blogs, and blogs by definition have new content that are put on them on a regular basis, and so Google is constantly sending out spiders, and so are Yahoo and Bing, all the major search engines. They send out spiders that crawl through all of the blogs, looking at the new content, looking at the keywords. And so let's talk about how blogs sort of work and why you should have them. So let's say this is your blog, okay? And you set it up, and there are all sorts of plugins that you can put in it. Plugins are basically little snippets of software that are created. Many of them you can get for free, and you put them on your blog, and they kind of help run it, all right? So let's say we create a post on our blog, and we put a video in the post, and that's a YouTube video, okay? So when we put that on our blog and we hit the publish button, what happens immediately is the blog sends out what are called pings to services, to the search engines. And so these are all pings that go out. And we'll put P by all of these. So those are all pings that go out, and I've only got a few pings on here, but if you can imagine that these pings go out to many, many different services, and when these pings go out, what happens then is little spiders are sent back to crawl through the blog. Okay, so you've got the spiders coming. And the spiders will come and they'll crawl through the blog, and they'll look at all of the keywords, the tags that are put on there. They'll look at the title of the blog post. They'll look at the video that's on the blog post, and they'll see that the video is over at YouTube, and so they'll crawl that. They'll see what keywords were tagged in the video, and basically they index that page very quickly, and that's just upon the event of you publishing that blog post. Now, when I create a blog post, I don't usually stop there. The blog post had a subject matter, and the blog post had keywords. And so I figure, hey, as long as I'm thinking about this stuff, why not go out here and create an article? So we'll create an article. All right, and you might do the article first and then do the blog first. It's kind of a chicken or the egg issue. It doesn't really matter. But if you create an article and you link that article to your blog, you know, people might then come to your blog, okay? But more importantly, if you write a good article, there are other article directories that will pick up that article. And so you might have a whole bunch of different article directories pick up that article. And it could be, 5, it could be 10, it could be hundreds, okay? And so these article directories will pick up and publish your article, and it'll have your links in it, and then those articles in turn link back to your blog because you have your link in the article. And this is just a few articles. You can imagine if there was a whole lot of articles, all right? And so this can be very powerful. And then the other thing that I'll do is I'll take that same concept, that same idea, that same set of keywords, and I will create, using a tool, and there are different tools that you can use. Some I recommend, some that I don't. But basically what I do is I take this content, and using a thesaurus, I'll change up some of the words on that content and submit it to another tool. And so as long as I'm thinking about this, I might as well do this, and then I'll submit it, and what the tool will do is the tool will then submit that to hundreds of other blogs. Okay? So, I'm getting lazy here. But you can imagine, these are all blogs. So I'm getting my content, the same concept that I had in here, I'm getting it put on hundreds of other blogs. Okay? And the instant that these blogs publish my content, all right, all of this happens over again. So each of these blogs is pinging. Okay, each of these blogs is sending out all these pings, all right, and the spiders are coming and they're crawling these blogs, and when the spiders come and crawl all these blogs, they'll see that there's a post on these blogs, and in that post there's going to be a link back to my blog, or wherever I want them to go. So each of these are linking back to my blog. And so you can see how confusing it can get, but basically if you learn how to do this, you don't really know where all your traffic is coming from. And all of these links, what they're doing is they're causing whatever content that I put on my blog to be loved by the search engines and hopefully pushed up in the search engines. This is basically how you can get a post on page 1 of the search engines. And it's very, very powerful. And I know just looking at this, if you're new to marketing or new to the internet and you haven't done this before, it can be totally overwhelming. But it's kind of like driving a car, all right? When you drive a car, you don't really need to know how the engine works. You don't need to know what the carburetor does, how the pistons work, how the camshaft works. You don't need to know how the transmission works. You just need to know how to put it in gear, drive it, and you need to know the rules of the road, okay? And so basically you need to learn how to set this stuff up. It's not that complicated. I don't know how all these pinging services necessarily work. I don't know how the spiders work. That's Google and Yahoo and Bing's job to understand how that works. I know how to set this up so that I take a concept and I create a post and all this other stuff happens. And it takes a little bit more effort to make a post than do a video, submit the video to some other video services, write an article, and do this spinning, but it's totally worth the effort and it's not that hard to do. And when you do it, basically, if you can imagine this happening hundreds of times. I mean, if you have a blog with hundreds of different posts on it, you can end up with thousands of links to your blog and thousands of pieces of content out there just off of hundreds of ideas. And so it's not that hard to come up with hundreds of ideas over time. I mean, if you start this process or enable this process on one blog post with a video on it 5 times a week, you can imagine after only a few months you will have thousands of links coming to your blog. And so this is why I believe it's so important that if you're trying to market any product, service, or opportunity online today, that you learn how to blog. So if you're interested in learning more, there's probably a link below this video or somewhere on the page that you're viewing this video on. Go ahead and check it out, and we'll talk to you later.